Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome yourselves back to another video. So today we're going to be reviewing Billie Eilish's new song, No Time to Die. But before we get into this, we're each going to give our background, kind of how we feel about Billie Eilish before we actually get into the review. And basically so we can see if our opinion changed on her, whether it was negative, if we didn't like her, or if we did, how it might change versus how we feel about the song. Also, every single Thursday, I do song reviews to all the new music. I'm going to be reviewing Justin Bieber's new album later, so stay tuned for that. Check out Lucas' channel, link in the description. He does a bunch of sports content, and check out Dag's SoundCloud. I'll link that. Spotify, I'll link that as well. He does a bunch of music, but let's get into this. Lucas, go ahead and go first. How do you feel about Billie Eilish? Not having to do with this song or anything, but just as an artist in general.
Okay, so she is really a dark artist. A lot of her songs are pretty dark, pretty sad and kind of depressing, but that does reach our generation because our generation does deal with depression. Not everyone, but a lot of them do.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why she's so popular right now, because she's reaching a whole generation's problem. And overall, I like her music, but I'm not really. After a while, it kind of brings me down.
Okay.
If I just listen to Billie Eilish all day, it kind of makes me sad for the rest of the day. And yeah, but I mean, overall, as an artist, I think she's pretty cool.
All right, Dag, how do you feel about Billie Eilish as an artist?
Okay, so first off, Billie Eilish was handed popularity. Both of her parents were extremely influential in the music industry. Her father was a very famous and well-known producer by a bunch of artists. Second, she started off in the right direction. Her original few songs, her biggest hit at the time, Ocean Eyes, is a fantastic song. She has a great voice. She's very talented. Here's my problem with her. She's going... what Lucas just said about appealing to our generation that's darker and depressed. Yeah, the problem that I have with that is that it's a gimmick. She's going at her genre with a purpose to be as edgy and quote-unquote unique as possible. So her last album, When We All Fall Asleep, etc., that album was terrible in my opinion, because it was just her whispering and ASMRing into a microphone with these like edgy lyrics that really had no meaning. But like all these 14-year-old girls were listening to it and going, oh my God, so relatable. She's amazing. So I think she's a very, very talented artist. And I think she started in the right direction. But I do not like the way that she's gone. I don't like what fame has done to her. And I don't like her underlying like style edginess.
Okay. So yeah. I both of you guys have valid opinions. I personally, I think her voice is really good. I think sometimes I'd wish she'd go into different registers and stuff like that, but I think it's pretty good. Her songs are really relaxing to me. One thing I'll say about her songs that always are there is they're always produced very, very well. The production side of it is always really, really well, or really well done, as far as the beat goes, as far as the vocals go. Subject matter, I don't pay attention to too much, so... Well, I mean, I do, but like not heavily. I agree with what Dag is saying, although I do disagree to the point that I do think there might be some songs that she's not making just for the sole reason to cater, but because she might actually go through that. But other than that, I don't think she's a high tier artist, but I think she's pretty good for what she does. And the biggest thing for her is I think her vocals are super good. Now, going into the song, I'll go first, and then I'll let you guys go the opposite order. But so I think this song is really good, and I think it's unique for her, not in general, but I think for her, because most of the time she does. To me, this was super ASMR-y or whatever, but there was times, I believe on the last chorus, where she was hitting notes, or maybe not hitting notes, but at least in my opinion, and I'll let you guys say what you think about that because you're the vocal people, but she went higher or she went louder or whatever than she usually does. So when I heard that, I was like, oh shoot. Production, not much to say about it. It was really good as usual. I liked how there was a bunch of reverb and not effects, but compression and echo and reverb on her voice and all that. I liked that. The beat I thought was really cool, and it got a little orchestral with the different instruments that I'm usually not used to seeing from her. I liked it. So I thought this song for her was a bit different for her because it had different aspects that definitely are not reoccurring in most of her music. As a song on its own, it does seem like it will fit the James Bond movie. Obviously, it's not nothing super crazy. It's talking about, she should have known that person was crazy or whatever. But overall, I give this song 1 out of 10. I give this probably an 8. I think it's pretty solid. It's pretty catchy. I listened to it again. Lucas, what do you think about No Time to Die by Billie Eilish?
Well, you mentioned unique. I wouldn't say unique is the word, because I feel like I've heard songs like this. But she does have. I do feel like that belt she did at the very end was very cool. That was actually that was my favorite part of the song right there. And normally I see these types of songs go that way, and a lot of James Bond songs are really, really cool. And this one really, really lives up to the reputation of James Bond songs. It overall, as a song, I thought Control vocally was good. Vocals were shaky at the very beginning, but it works with this kind of song. And overall, I felt like it flowed pretty well, and everything was great. Really did like the song.
What would you give the song 1 out of 10?
I'd give this 8.5 out of 10.
Okay, higher than me. All right, Dag, what do you think of No Time to Die by Billie Eilish?
All right, so there were a couple of things about the song that I actually really loved. I think for Billie Eilish, I agree with what you guys are saying. She's kind of stepping out a little bit. She's putting a little bit more of her actual raw talent into it. I did appreciate that. I think the song is more honest than a lot of her songs. The lyrics are simplistic, but not shallow. They are describing a situation that could be very real, but aren't going over the top with imagery of like some sort of depression or like I said before, catering to the genre. So I think it's an honest song, and I think it's well written and produced. I did like the ambient noises and the reverb. I think the one thing that I think it was missing is that, so there's a song, it gave me a bit of a like Bad Flower vibe for parts of it, which was really great, and I love Bad Flower. They're a little bit more hardcore rock, obviously, than Billie Eilish, but but it had that like soft reverb vibe to it, which was good. Unfortunately, what it was missing was a build, because these songs that are longer, it's a 4-minute song, which I don't have a problem with long songs. I have a song that's like 7 minutes long. Like, I don't have a problem with that, but it needs to have some point at which there's a climax and then either comes back down or just resolves to the top. There's an X-Ambassador song a lot like this one called Eye of the Storm, but it finishes in it with a really fantastic build. So I'd say it was missing a good build, and as a song itself, the melody wasn't super variant or unique from a pop genre style. But I'd say as a Billie Eilish song, I liked it better than her other ones. So I would be a little harsher than you guys. I would give it a 6.5 out of 10.
Okay.
But I would say that it's a step in the right direction for her as a sound.
Okay. Luke, what do you have to say to his point about the whole build-up and all of that? Because you mentioned you really liked her belting, whatever. What do you have to say to that?
Well, the build-up was pretty cool, and I always like build-ups at the end of songs.
But did you think there was a build-up?
Like, yeah, I did think there was a build-up. I mean, she didn't belt like that the whole song. But it's kind of like, what was the song I'm thinking of? It slipped my mind. But songs with build-ups like these, I feel like it just makes the song better. It just makes the song more powerful and just, yeah. And I just love songs like these.
Also, one thing I did forget to mention, actually, it's a dual point. One is, you guys talked about this being a James Bond song. I don't really know where you're getting that from, because James Bond songs are not slow reverb songs. They're high-powered, like, cinematic band songs. But the chord structure was really well done, because it mirrored the chord structure of like those sort of diminished jazz chords that you'll find in the big band songs. So it was kind of a modern adaptation of it. So in that sense, you were right.
I
So
forgot
what I was saying there. So what I was saying there is, yeah, because I mean there's a Chris Cornell one in there, and that's nothing like this song. But all I was saying is it was a good enough song for it to be a James Bond song.
Gotcha.
But overall, yeah, I see what you mean. This is not sounding anything like the.
Yeah, that is true to a point. I agree with Dag on the chord structure, like the actual piano or whatever that was. I know that probably wasn't piano, but the at the start that was catchy. That was catchy. Like it kind of had like a build
And the last chord of the song was good too.
Yeah, it kind of had like a kind of like a creepy, sneaky vibe or whatever. And with the build up, I agree with Luke, and then I also agree with Dom. So I'm in the middle. So it definitely has a build up. It has a climax, but the climax is not that huge. It does not. I don't think it has an instrumental climax. I think it has a vocal climax. But if it had an instrumental as well, I mean, it does get a little orchestral, but it's not huge, And does it have to be? No, not necessarily. But to say it had a huge, you wouldn't call it beat drop, but you could say beat drop, because that's for electronic music. But you could say beat drop, climax, whatever. It wasn't huge. It was there, and it was distinctive, but to Dag's point, probably not distinctive enough from a James Bond movie because, those are movies full of action and all of that. But do either of you have any final thoughts before we cut it off?
Not really, no.
Dag,
overall, it was a great song.
Dag, you got
We
any
can
thoughts?
move on.
No, all right. But yeah, overall, we thought this was pretty good. If you average out our scores, it probably would get about a 7. So that is pretty good for a song. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe. I do these every single Thursday with these guys sometimes, and a bunch of music stuff in general. I do audition tutorials and all of that, so stay tuned for that. I do my own music, link in the description. Dag does as well, and check out Lucas's channel. I'll see you guys later. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.